everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make a layout with an interesting background with chevrons created out of patterned papers. And I'm going to continue the photos from the tour that we took of the Jack Daniels Distillery in Lynchburg, Tennessee. My husband wanted to go there for his birthday. So this was a few years ago, and I have several pictures here. This is the second half of the tour where we went into the keg room and then we did a tasting flight of different types of whiskeys that they make there at the distillery. I'm going to use the Good Life papers and stickers and stamp set and some of the mix-in papers. Okay, so let's get started. I've got a base of Harbor that's cut at 10.5 inches square for each side. I'm going to make a double page spread. And then I'm cutting pieces of strips of different patterns from the Good Life at 2 inches. So they're 2 by 12. And then I have this wood grain piece from the mix-in pack that I'll be using as well. So I'm setting them up on this square of Harbor. And in order to do a diagonal longer than 12 inches, I'm going to show you a little trick. So I'm just kind of laying things out first, and I'll cut a couple more pieces. I love how all these papers coordinate so well together. You can pretty much just pick whichever ones you want and put them all together. Okay, so I'm cutting some more 2-inch strips. And we'll use this tin roof pattern, another 2 inches. And then for the corners, I'm going to use this mix-in. So I'm going to bring in my T-square and I'm going to measure how much I'll need because I'll need more than 2 inches. And it's about 3 3/4. I'm going to trim that. I want it to use this wood grain to kind of tie in the wood from the kegs in the keg room in the photos. So I'm just going to cut this in half to be sure I have enough to cover that corner. So each corner will get some wood grain. Okay, so we're going to work on the left panel, and then I'll do the right one off camera. It's going to mirror this one. So the way to extend your 12 inches is to just cut it in half and leave that opening because your picture is going to go on top of it. So no worries. No one will ever know there's a gap there. Okay, so that's the basic way it's going to lay out, and then my picture will go over that gap between the papers. Okay, so we'll start adhering everything, and I'll speed this up in a couple seconds. Just want to get started here. So I'm just making sure that my paper covers the entire edge to edge, and I'm just kind of eyeballing it. It's about a 1/4 inch difference, and it turned out I did it right when I measured it. Gap that's in between each of the strips. And then I'm going to bring my T-square in again to make sure that when I extend that cut piece that it's at the same angle. I'll do the same thing with this one to make sure it's straight and that the gaps are laying at the same angles. Looks good. We'll go ahead and add this gingham and then that other corner. And then I'm going to flip over the whole thing and just trim off all that excess. So just go the whole way around. And I'm saving these scraps because I think I'll be able to use them on a card somehow. So I'm hanging on to them. Okay, so we'll trim all the way around, and there's your pattern. Okay, so then I did the same thing for the other side, the right panel. and it kind of mirrors it. So it looks like a giant chevron. And then I've cut 2 pieces of toffee at 8 inches square. And now I'm deciding what color to use for my base. So you can see how it takes on such a different look when you use a different base. I'm liking the harbor, but I just want to try some things. It really looks different with the espresso. And then I'm going to try the light side of harbor. Nope, I keep going back to harbor, and it works that way. So I like that. Okay, so we'll bring in our pictures. That one is 5x7, and then I have a 4x6 and some 3x4, and I quickly discovered that my photos for the right panel were the wrong size. But first I wanted to see what the light side of toffee looked like, and I like that better. Okay, so I have reprinted my pictures in squares. So the Epson Picture Mate makes squares with the Epson Create app at 3.5 inches square, and those work. Okay, so now I have created some mats in mist for all of my pictures. And they're about 1/8 of an inch larger for each one. Okay. All right, that's my basic layout. I'm liking that. And I'm going to do some treatments to the cardstock. So I'm bringing in my edge distresser. This is a really, really old, close to my heart tool. And you can easily use the edge of your scissors to do the same thing to get the same effect, but I have the tool, so I'm going to use it. So yeah, this must be, gosh, at least 15 years old. So, but it works still, and the blade's still sharp in there, so that's great. So I'm just roughing up the edges to distress, and it brings out the white core, and it just roughs things up, and it just gives it a little distressed look to it. I like that. And then I'm going to bring in some mist ink, and I'm going to ink around all of the edges of the mist paper. So I'll do this large one, the 5x7 mat, and then I'll do the other 4 mats off camera just to give it a little more distressed look. And it's easy with this tool and the sponge applicator. Okay, then I'm going to cut some tabs with the Tags and Tabs thin cut set, and this set is still available. I'll put a link in the description below, and I've cut them in mist as well, and I'm just going to do some little journaling. It's kind of a who, what, where, when, because I did most of my journaling on the previous layout. That's going to be in the book before this for the first half of the tour. So I'm just saying where it is and the date, and that we're doing the whiskey tasting flight, and that we're in the keg room. Okay. And then I decided I needed a little something more on that piece of toffee. So I'm going to bring in the stamp set that is called Designer Elements, or Design Elements. And I'm going to use this image that it kind of looks like, I don't know, crackles, cracked, I don't know, it's really interesting, like maybe cracked ice. I don't know, it just, I like the look of it, and I'm going to cover this piece of toffee with that image. So I'm stamping over the edges, and I don't have to worry about stamping in the middle so much because my photo is going to be over it. I'm going to stamp all around, and then off camera I'll do the piece for the right panel so they match. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to bring in my Altenew sticky mat, and these are die cut titles, and they're in wood grain. And because this, the color of the wood grain, it'll blend in too much with the toffee that I have on that base underneath the large photo, I'm going to do a little treatment to my letters. So I'm popping out letters to spell the best day. And then I'm going to bring in my mist ink pad again and the same sponge tool. And I'm just going to pounce on my letters. I don't want to completely cover them with ink. I just want to add this tone to them so that you can still see the wood grain. And it kind of gives the effect of weathered wood that sort of has that blue tone to it. So I'm just pouncing on them to make them darker so they'll pop when I put them on that toffee paper. Okay, so I'm going to lay these out, and I do fuss with them quite a bit to figure out the best placement to make sure they all fit. And then I'm going to bring in some stickers. And I like to cut my stickers from the carrier sheet so that I can move things around without anything sticking to my layout until I'm ready. So I've got this one sticker, it says you and me, and then I've got some banner stickers. So just trying to decide where I like it. Moving my title around again. Let's figure things out before I start adhering everything down. And I'll bring in this banner piece that's wood grain. And then some of the stickers are in the shape of an arrow. And so instead of using the arrow side, I've done a little surgery to them and created a banner out of them. So this one actually was a banner. And then the other two pieces I trimmed up so that they would be banners as well. So here I am trimming this one, just cut vertically in the center and then take each corner to meet that snip. And then I'll be tucking that point portion of it underneath the photo. I'll move that other sticker over to the other side. We're getting there. And then I'll just create a little banner cluster for the left side of the layout. And it still changes. Will be different from that once I start sticking everything down. That's okay. All right. I'm liking this. Okay. So we'll get started adhering things, and then I'll do a lot of the gluing and using my tape runner for everything off camera. I have already mounted my photos and I've added foam tape to the back of all of them. So they're popped up just a little bit and they're ready to go. So we'll get this base page down. And then we'll start on the right side. And then we'll add that piece of toffee. So you can use lots of patterns if you place them strategically, and then using a large mat on top of it, it works. And then your photos still are the star of the show, but it has that interesting background. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put all these square photos down. They're all ready to go with foam tape. And we'll get them in a grid. And then I'll add those tabs for my journaling. And I'll add the sticker, and then I'll create my little cluster on the left panel with my stickers. And that also kind of mirrors the previous page that I have a couple of banner clusters as well. Okay, and then to finish it off, I'm going to bring in some of these pearls. And I believe these are from Buttons Galore and More. One is a flat brown, and this one is kind of an iridescent brown, and I like the iridescence better. And I'm going to scatter a whole bunch of those around. And kind of take on different colors depending on what angle you look at them. Pretty cool. Gold and sort of a green and a blue with a brown base. They're kind of cool. Okay. And then we're going to call this done. So I'll pull it closer to the camera here. You can have another look, and then I'll have close-up shots at the end. And of course, I will make a list of all the supplies that I use with links in the description below. You can do a little shopping. Most of these supplies are available. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And then you'll be able to find all of my videos. And I have quite a few in the library. I publish twice a week, one scrapbook layout and video and one card making video per week. And thanks for watching.